The headphone market has been evolving for the past quite a few years. Things that have been considered expensive back in the day aren't really considered expensive anymore. And I'm telling you this because today we're taking a look at a very expensive headphone amplifier, the Feliks Audio Envy. So let's begin by introducing you guys to Feliks Audio. It's a Polish company that for the past decade has been prominent in manufacturing tube headphone amplifiers. They've become known for their Euphoria model and then the Elise, and now it's time for the new flagship, the new big boy, the Envy. So this is a new approach to endgame headphone amplifiers. It's a fully balanced Class A headphone amplifier with 300B tubes. So if you've been following the market for quite a few years now, you're going to know that 300B tubes are some of the most popular out there. They've gained their own cult following due to how musical yet technical they are. I'm not going to bore you with all the technical details. If you want that, either check out the link to the written review by Pavel or go to Feliks' website. And right now let's just discuss the amplifier itself, beginning with the build quality. Let me tell you, this really is a giant. It's made of wood and of metal, and honestly it wouldn't make sense to send it by post, and for that reason I've had to visit Pavel to record this video. Of course, it's not just about the materials, but about the finish as well. The Envy leaves nothing to be desired. Everything is fitted beautifully, the parts are well made by themselves, and they're put together into this, well, work of art, there's no other way to call it. I've seen numerous times on forums people bragging about the Envy because of how beautiful it is, and seeing it in person, I can't blame them at all. Of course, you have to take its size into account. As you can see, Pavel doesn't keep this behemoth on his desk because, let's not kid ourselves here, this is not really a desktop amplifier. If you're looking for something more subtle, then you may have to look somewhere else. Okay, without further ado, let's move right into the sound. And let me tell you guys, the sound here is huge, punchy, lively and dynamic while also being vigorous. However, be advised, this is not your typical tube amplifier. This actually sounds more like a solid-state amplifier with all its technicalities, its clarity, but it still maintains this little bit of tube DNA. And because of that, the Envy is a kind of a jack of all trades when it comes to pairing it with headphones. Of course, it has its own sound characteristic, its own kind of personality maybe, but it never overwhelms the headphones. Of course, it leaves a little bit of a spark to it, a little bit of magic, but nothing is overwhelmed and nothing gets drowned out when it comes to your favorite headphones. When it comes to technical performance, this really is the top of the line. Stuff like details, imaging, soundstage and dynamics, they really leave nothing to be desired. And I must say, for now, this is really the top of the top. So maybe let's not focus on the technical capabilities of this amp and let's talk more about the pairings. Let's address the elephant in the room first. This is the Hifiman Susvara. It's notorious for being one of, if not the most demanding headphone on the planet currently. And you may not think that Susvara plus a tube amplifier is a really good combo, but let me tell you, this is something you have to try for yourself. Out of all the things we've tested with the Susvara, this definitely takes the cake. Its musicality, its punchiness, its soundstage, its imaging, it all plays perfectly with Susvara's sound characteristics. Guys, let's address one thing here. Do not be fooled by the Envy's specification. On paper, it may not sound like it has that much power for the Susvara, but the reality is quite different. In reality, Envy has more than enough power to drive the Susvara to its full capabilities. I'm sure you've seen in the past guys that drive their Susvaras with stereo amplifiers, 100 watts plus or some other astronomical numbers. Well, you don't have to anymore because the Envy can handle it beautifully. On the other hand, we have the Meze Elite. They're not known for being the most power demanding headphones, but still, the Feliks Envy handles them very, very well. However, this headphone scales very well with amplification. And here we have a very musical, a very pleasant and fun sound. Of course, it may not be as technically proficient as the Susvara, but still, if you're looking for pure musical enjoyment, then this may be the way to go. Now let's talk about the headphone. You may know the brand Head from their studio equipment, and they're kind of studio sound signature, but the headphone is different. It adds that little bit of musicality to the mix, and it works very well with the Envy. The headphone is a very technically proficient equipment, headphone, and the Envy kind of builds upon that. And well, they're both big, bulky and heavy, so I guess you could say they're kind of meant for each other. Okay, this is the HD8XX by Drop and Sennheiser, but for the purposes of this video, let's just pretend it's the HD800 or 800S. This is a dynamic driver headphone, and dynamic drivers with tube amps are known to be a perfect combination. The HD800 and 800S are very technical headphones. They're great when it comes to air and soundstage, and the Envy kind of builds upon that. It adds its own musicality, its own fun and engagement. Altogether, this results in a sound that is very technical, airy, spacious and tactile, while also being natural, musical and fun. So as you can see, we've covered hard to drive planars, easy to drive planars, AMT headphones and dynamic driver headphones, and the Envy handles it all beautifully, which further solidifies its kind of a jack of all trades status. And in my opinion, that's kind of how it should be. If you're paying that much bank for an amplifier, you shouldn't really have to worry whether it will suit your headphones or not. You just plug it in and have fun, and that's exactly what the Envy does. So if you end up spending a few €1,000s on your Envy and you end up receiving it, just plug in your favorite headphones and have fun. But for the love of God, please do not plug in electrostatic headphones. Well, not like you could do that, but don't even think about it. To sum things up, this is the best headphone amplifier we've ever listened to. While a few €1,000s for a headphone amplifier is a wild price, for the versatility it gives you and for the experience it provides basically every time you plug your headphones in, to me, I'd say it's worth it. So, this has been the Feliks Envy. My name is Matthew. See you guys in the next one, and thank you for watching. Bye.